Unpopular opinion, but sometimes it actually is about the money. And I know that is not a popular thing to say in the business coaching industry right now, but it actually really bothers me when business coaches say things if they're not buying. It's never just about the money, or it's never about the money. And here's why this really freaking bothers me. When they teach this in a $12,000 program or a feeder free webinar into a $12,000 program, what they are saying is basically the only people it makes sense to sell to are people that can afford $12,000 or have access to pulling $12,000 out of thin air, or $10,000, or other of these kind of common fees for popular business coaching programs. And here's why this really bugs me. The pool of people who can pull $12,000 out of thin air is a very exclusive club. Not everyone, even if they really want to be there, has access to this incredibly privileged sum of money. Access to that much money is a privilege. And I think this line of thinking of if they wanted to, they would, is actually problematic in most circumstances in which it's used, including dating. We'll get into that another time. But when it comes to money, there are so many people that want to pay their rent right now and can't. They really want to pay their rent right now. They want to pay their electric bill. They want to buy food and they can't. They want to afford medical care and they can't. And so it's not about them not wanting it hard enough or just not trying hard enough or not being willing to work. Like this line of thinking makes me extremely angry because it is so obliviously privileged. And then when we look at these impressive case studies from these $12,000 programs, and we start to notice these case study folks look a little homogenous. Like if you were to line up their photos one after the other, some of us would have trouble telling them apart because there are systemic, historical barriers to the access of wealth, to the access of funds. And so if we just ascribe it to people who want it bad enough will figure it out, we are leaving out a whole fuck ton of people that also need and deserve support from us as coaches. So I think what a lot of these folks are teaching is you got to price appropriately so you can hit X impressive fancy revenue for the month. And again, revenue is not the same as profit. So they're teaching you got to sell at these really high prices to make a profit. And then they're turning out coaches that also teach you have to sell at these really high prices to make a profit. And then looping ad infinitum and leaving a lot of people out. And then the other thing is they try to get around this by saying, if you get resourced enough, if you get wealthy enough, you can offer scholarships here and there. But the thing is, I think this does such a huge disservice because my aligned client, who I love, who I feel most fulfilled when I'm serving, often are not in that exclusive club where they can just pull $12,000 out of thin air. And even though that's what I help them get to, I want to help them get to the place where that is possible, where they're regularly making such incredible profits in their business. That would be easy. But I feel most fulfilled, happiest. I got into this line of work because I want to help those people. I want to help those people that aren't in the club yet, who are left out of fucking everything. And those are my aligned clients. And pardon my French, but no white man is going to tell me that shouldn't be my aligned client because it doesn't fit into this neat industry model where you get to speed up and fast track results by already selling to incredibly privileged, supported people. And now they might say, no, like people had to take out credit cards and put a huge expense on credit cards, and some of them were working in restaurants, etc. Um, and that is a very narrow view of the situation. Like, there are people who have maxed out their credit cards buying food, paying for rent. There, and also, I don't want my clients to be in a financially dangerous or precarious situation in order to work for me. So, I really push back on this notion that if they wanted to, they would. It's never just the money, because sometimes it do be about the money. So I want to affirm and validate you if, like me, the people you most enjoy serving aren't necessarily in this exclusive club that has access to $12,000 or even the ability to go into more debt to afford that $12,000. If that's not your person, that's okay. There is other ways, there are other business models, there are other things to do to make sure you are paid handsomely for your work and are still serving from your overflow, your abundance, and not hustle and grind, etc. It just means you don't fit into the business models of these business guru-y people, and that's okay. We can get creative. There are other ways to do it. So it is perfectly okay if your aligned client isn't in this exclusive club of I can pull $12,000 of thin air. That is perfectly okay. Secondly, I really hope you are thinking critically. I know all of these guru-y business coaches, they sell us on really beautiful dreams, and some of the ways they teach us to think are very expansive, very uplifting, feel very good. But what makes me uncomfortable, and where I think this largely unregulated coaching industry leans into culty territory, is when we are taught that to be coachable means we have to totally buy their way of thinking, just take the whole thing on without questioning it, even if it feels wrong to us, to be expansive or to be open to the up level or whatever. What I teach in my coaching practices is you know best. You know what's best for you. You know what's best for your brain, your unique wiring. You know what's best for your people. You know what's best for your business. And I encourage people, if what I'm advising feels off, to let me know. Because my highest form of service to my clients is helping them to strengthen their ability to trust their own judgment and be aware of their own judgment. Because we've been conditioned out of that connection to ourselves, of that protection of self, especially a lot of us who have received a lifelong of conditioning to people please, to be perfectionists, to follow the rules. It's actually central tenet of my coaching to get us to reconnect and pause, stop following all of the advice, doing all the good girl things, like pull it back and be like, wait, what do I want? What do I need? Am I in alignment with my actual goal? And my actual goals meaning what will fulfill me, not what I think I'm supposed to do based on societal standards or what other people are telling me to do. So I think it's a huge sign of growth, of leadership, of people stepping into the CEO persona who can handle the amount of money, responsibility, clients, visibility, following that they're coming in, when they can tell me or other mentors or coaches that doesn't feel aligned. Or they can do that thing where they take what works for them and leave the rest. So rather than, if they really like a mentor or an influencer, rather than just swallowing everything they have to say, being able to be like, that makes sense to me, that doesn't. Like, I have people I love and really look up to who say this thing, it's never about the money. And I 100% disagree with them. There have been in my life so many programs I really wanted to be a part of, but it was literally impossible for me to find the money. And it wasn't because I didn't want to be there, and it wasn't because I didn't deserve the help because I didn't want it enough or whatever. That's not the case. The people who are not in the club to afford these crazy premium prices are not less deserving of help and support. And these people, were they to receive help and support at maybe a price that stretches their comfort level a bit, but doesn't like devastate them financially or isn't literally impossible for them to attain, like we could get more people into these exclusive clubs where money talks and increases our mobility and our power and our ability to get in the rooms where we are able to keep growing and scaling higher and higher. So I think like this insulated, if they wanted to, they would thinking is just such a dangerous, unkind concept. It's unkind to the people who want to be working with us and can't afford these crazy prices. And it's okay if your clientele can, that's fine. I'm not judging. Like that's a fine business model. But if your people like really want to be a part of it, but like there is a cutoff to what is possible for them to attain in order to work with you, it's not kind. It's not kind to shame these people and tell them, well, it's on you. If you wanted to, you would have found a way. I think that is such an unkind and dangerous way of thinking. And it's also an unkind and dangerous way of mentoring business coaches and mentoring other entrepreneurs to tell them they're not buying because they don't see the value in it. It's never about the money, because it's just not true. Sometimes it is about the money. Now, here's what is your responsibility. You got to figure out who is your aligned client and what is possible for them to attain. What is actually possible for these folks to attain? Who are you willing to exclude? Who are you willing to be unavailable to? This is important because part of pricing is, yes, your confidence level, your belief in the value of the results and transformation you're bringing to, but also matching to the price to the people you most want to deliver this work to. You got to match the price to your target audience, or you're really going to struggle. So, I hope this was food for thought. Let me know what you think about this concept of it's never just about the money when people don't buy, or if they wanted to, they would. I think this leaves out so much context and is just too reductionist, too narrow-minded. Well, obviously, I've been ranting about it for the last 10 minutes. But tell me your thoughts. I'm curious what you think. Okay, love you. Bye.